It's daily game design time. But this is Monday morning. But Sunday, what a day. Sunday, what a day. I met up with three other gamers yesterday morning. And we played Anachrony with, I think, two expansions. At least one, I'm not really sure what all that content was. I had to refresh a little bit. Rules wise, there were some little things I had to, be reminded of as we went. But it's really great playing with those guys because they. It's actually a really cool ability they have. They're min maxers. At least the two guys. I mean, there are two that are real heavyweights. The other friend, he's really good. We're just not quite at the level of these other two guys, and I feel like I don't spend a lot of time. It's hard to say this kind of thing without feeling like I'm insulting everybody else. But there's something. We have a bunch of them in the community. You can imagine, like we have some people here who are like some of the best in the U.S. at the games they play. So the question is what do they see that I don't see? How does this work? What are they able to calculate that I'm just not catching? So it's that kind of thing. It's that dynamic where you've got these people who are looking at this super busy, really complex board, and yet they're able to pick achievable goals. They're able to see a couple steps ahead to, okay, I need this to get this, which is going to unlock this, and it's going to give me these things. And they're still making, like, as I'm playing, I feel like we sound similar. They'll say, I missed this thing, or I meant to do this, but I missed the cost of that, and I was collecting the wrong thing. And so they're making mistakes at the same time. They're making mistakes, but they are so much more efficient than me somehow. like, what is happening? And anyway, so we played through this whole game. So, okay, I wanted to say the special ability, the superpower, is to be operating in terms of calculation and efficiency at a very high level, but not taking forever to do it on your turn. That's wild. So they're absorbing so much information. And then, certainly they're engaged when it's not their turn. They play so many games, they probably see a lot of patterns, kind of no matter what game they play. And they play a lot of heavier games. I don't play a lot of heavy games, but I'm getting more comfortable with them, or I'm starting to see some of the ideas that are built into the heavier games. That's why it's actually cool that I can work on Sugar Shack. Sugar Shack, believe it or not, as small of a game as it is my first attempt at least I think so. It's my first attempt at a small version of a Euro. So of these games that are more about efficiency and like they're about multiple paths to victory, low randomness. So these are really, really hard for me. They're hard for me to play, and I think that's why it's showing up that they're pretty hard for me to design. And that's why it's cool to start with such a small game. This is a little two-player game. Like, think about how let me actually open up Tabletop Simulator. As far as what is possible to do on your turn, it feels like it in the actual experience of playing, it feels like there are several things you could do on your turn, but that's really not the case. You really can't do very much. You have maybe 4 or 5 possibilities. And let me get there. Okay, On your turn, you can decide whether you want to pay a little extra to get, to get some more sap in your evaporator. You can do that. But you have two cubes that you can spend. And there are so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that, at some point in the game you might spend one or two cubes on. This one is impossible at the start of the game because it's expensive. And then this one you're not likely to do, probably because, I don't know, you need the cubes for it. You could do it, but it's your whole turn. So anyway, there's really not a whole lot you can do. At the same time, I was messing up on the design side. I misunderstood some of the costs, some of the economy stuff when I play tested last week. And anyway, I think it's those little things that the guys I played with yesterday would notice right away. Like, why would I spend that if I could just do this thing over here? And so it's stuff that, like, even in the super small game, just didn't stand out to me. So they're the kind of people I really want to be around more, just to see how they think, watch how they play. It's very, very cool that, like, I had this one ability yesterday. It's hard to describe if you don't know the game. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this thing and I said, it has some symbols and you're able to convert one thing into another thing. And I was thinking, why is this good? It felt like it was not good, or I misused it. I felt like I kind of wasted it. And then the guy sitting next to me, Sam, he said, "Oh, wow, what do you think about this? Like, it's okay. You get a guy, because you have to sacrifice a token that sort of turns on these mechs that you use in the game." And so it's important to have, like, the right amount of these. I forget what they were called, but they're like the people in the game that operate these mechs. And there's engineers and scientists and stuff, and they do different stuff on the board, or they have different strengths and weaknesses. So I said, well, you get this thing, and remember, when you get the thing, you get a bonus with it. Now, if you sacrifice it, you have to realize that you're sacrificing it for a thing, and you'll get basically 2 out of the one thing that you got. And so he's just, doing this little efficiency calculation in his mind, and he noticed that ability, and I never did. I just didn't put it together that that's what the idea is. You get these workers, and then you might use them, or you might just kind of sacrifice them right away to upgrade them or get a resource you really need, but just remembering that you got something for getting them in the first place, and now they give you something as they go away. Like, I just didn't notice that. And so when you're talking about differences, like being able to afford things on a board that's really big and complex, sometimes all it takes is having exactly the right amount of resources. And you figure if through the game you're able to get these tiny incremental advantages in getting, one extra resource, one extra, I forget what they were, the core, the power cores that you turn on a mech. You get one here, one here, one here. That advantage builds over time because you're able to unlock something just before somebody else. You're able to get these points just before they were able to get them. And that's how these guys, like, grow their advantages. And it's thinking like that that's really, it's just good for me to be around, because I don't think like that. And so that's why when I have a game like this that really is built on the same principles as those games, but it's much, much smaller, it's still hard for me to catch these, like, pretty obvious errors that would jump out at these guys. So it's cool to kind of see what they're up to, and kind of talk through, like, what made you do that instead of this. And so anyway, it was a treat to play with those guys yesterday. I've been playing with them on Thursdays as well, a little bit more. And it's fun because I'm kind of hanging now. I'm not, like, competitive necessarily, but I'm able to understand, absorb, some of these bigger systems a lot faster. So I'm not just dead weight in the game, and I can take my turn. And okay, maybe I'm not a complete moron as I'm playing. It's that kind of thing. So that was super fun. But then I had to rush out to go hang out with Uncle Dwight for the Bills game. What a game. That was insane. If you have not, I mean, football's back, right? I don't remember a whole lot of each game. I don't even remember who was in the Super Bowl last year, but I watched the Bills games. Some information to me is stickier than other information, and who was in the Super Bowl, if it wasn't the Bills, is not sticky information for me. So anyway, Uncle Dwight is a fun character. He's just a cool guy. And the funny thing about that situation is we met up at Buffalo Wild Wings. By the way, I'm just downloading this card I tweaked yesterday after the playtest, where it became obvious to me that the warehouse Wonder Mayor's favorite card shut down the warehouse for more than half of the game, or for about half of the game. And it affected the game so much that I thought it might be worth making a round by round adjustment to the cost. So that's one thing I'm kind of testing today. So I also really like I also really like just kind of running across this idea, because this is a challenge for me in making a language independent game. So it's not perfectly language independent yet, but I think the symbology, the iconography is pretty close. I think it's pretty good. And just remembering that the player doesn't have to memorize exactly how the cards work. You don't have to, like in Magic. Imagine if Magic had iconography. Oh, that'd be horrible because the interactions are so complex. Here it's not so bad. By the way, I think this was a much better version of this card. It wasn't so weirdly combo-y in the top three squares, the top three spaces. This did not work. I probably don't need this. In fact, I'm just going to take it off right now. Would it be nice if there was another benefit, though? That's the question. Would it be nice if there was another benefit to taking the first player marker? Maybe. It might be too strong if it was like a gain a guy. It could be something like this. It could be like, it could be, let's say gain $2. Because the thing is, going first is a big deal in a blocking worker placement game. It's a really big deal, especially when there are several races to be had here. So there's already a great value to going to this card if you're not first player. Even if you are first player, blocking it might be good. And to add resources, or like, let's say, less efficient conversions might still be good. Like, it would be kind of tempting for a player to burn a worker on this card if they can also get something for it and retain. If they can retain first player and get something, even if it's at a higher rate, that might be really tempting, actually, and it might ruin the game, to be honest. But this was not meaningful, so this doesn't need to be here. So this is just the first player marker. I don't know, one more conversion might be kind of nice. Because what else could they do? Like look at the top card? I think I'm gonna try that actually. Let's put a little eyeball there. An eye. Okay, a little bit weird, but I mean, that's cool, right? Like, that's not unhelpful. Actually, I would like it to. But I mean, if both players are going to look at the top card anyway, because first player is really going to be going back and forth. It's just that if you look at it sooner, you can prepare for it sooner, I guess is the point, right? So I don't mind this. I don't mind this idea at all. Let me see if you got it better. I don't want a see-through eye. I think they're all going to be like that, though. Like any that are really simple, I feel like they're just going to be. And I don't want to like build. Which one did I just try? Was this one? Yeah. I don't want to build a white background. Well, it's a little hard for me to. Okay, this one is maybe a little more doable. It looks kind of dumb. I don't really like the shape of it, but at least I can. At least I can just put a white circle behind it. That's fine. So, it's also hard for me to work and chat because the reason I'm doing this, the reason I'm working and talking at the same time is to get my thinking out, get my ideas out. So if I was just, I know that there's some people that like stream and like paint or draw or whatever, and that would be more doable. Um, because there's like not very much reasoning that's going on there. So anyway, met up with Uncle Dwight for the Bills game. He's a funny character because he's there almost every day. He's at Buffalo Wild Wings. He's at Buffalo Wild Wings almost every single day. So a lot of people know him there. Like a bunch of the servers know him. He the like the funnest part about it is that he knows the system so well. Like we I downloaded the app. I went to one of the games, or I went to uh, Buffalo Wild Wings with him and one other guy from our church last year once, I think. And that's when I started seeing like how well they know the situation. Um, and it's stuff like he knows all of how to get all the discounts, how to get all the free food. What am I doing? Okay. And like exactly when things are happening, how much things are worth. So one of the things that happens is trivia. So on your you download the app and then you can play along with the restaurant's trivia game, and they have that on a screen, and so there's like a leaderboard and stuff. So he'd been playing already for a little while when I arrived, and he had a bunch of points, and he might be one of the few that's like super committed to um playing every time it shows up, but he knows exactly like the intervals of when the game starts and stuff. He's like, okay, it's every half an hour, like 3 minutes past the whatever. So anyway, we're playing trivia. we're starting to get the free sides that he earned last week or this whatever it is, and you know he's got his favorite sauces. He never gets fries, like that kind of stuff. He always gets tots or wedges. Loves them, you know. And anyway, at some point, you know, the game we're watching the game. The game is very very dramatic. If you have not, if you haven't watched the highlights of Bills Ravens from yesterday, you've got to do it. It was a wild experience, and I'll tell you, like a game. I don't know. I do get more emotionally involved in games, in football games these days, just with the Bills doing pretty well, and my family's super into it, and so you know we'd have people over, and a lot of those people are. This is when you know I'm in Buffalo, maybe for the holidays or something, and we have church friends over, and they get super into it, and like it's maybe like a little too much, that kind of stuff. So for a while, for me, it's like keep a distance. Like I don't want to have a roller coaster experience when I'm watching a game. And it was sort of easier to have to keep a distance when they weren't doing well at all. There was, you know, from since the early '90s, they've been pretty bad, and it's only recently with Josh Allen, I think, in the last 5, 6 years, that they started showing some promise, and now they're one of the best teams in the league, and so it's kind of it's cool to just like, oh, this team that you know we've been following for a long time is actually doing well now, and there's a lot more emotional investment. It's easier to be more emotionally invested when they're getting close to victory, and so anyway, they're just getting dominated by the Ravens. Most, like, for sure, like in the second half. Again, if you haven't seen the highlights, you should go watch them. I think I'm going to be sharing some spoilers here in a second, definitely. But there's another game you can play on the, like in the app, the Buffalo Wild Wings app, and that is one where they give you options. They two options, and if you pick one, you pick the right one, then you get a free side. So that's the deal. So you know, for every quarter, there's a pick a side. And then, you know, one of them was like, is this receiver going to get more yards or that receiver going to get more yards by halftime? That was one of them. The last one, so I missed the third quarter guess, but the last one, the last pick a side challenge was who's going to have more points by the end of the game, Ravens or Bills? And at that point, the Ravens were up at least 2 touchdowns. And you know what? I really wanted a side. So I thought, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to pick the Ravens. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to pick the Ravens. So I did. I picked the Ravens. This is third quarter. They're up by quite a bit. And so I turned my back on my own team. You know, I felt it was a betrayal of trust and loyalty. So anyway, oh, interesting. What about Scry 1? What about Scry 1? How would I show this? How would I show this? So you can look at the top card. If you like it, you can leave it. If you don't like it, you can move it to the bottom of the deck. How about that? I think that's an idea. Is it just an arrow that would work here? I'm gonna get a recycle. This is not gonna make a lot of sense, but or arrows maybe. What's a good one for Like, how would you place at the bottom of the deck? And it cannot, the point is here, the reason I'm working on, spending more than 2 seconds on this is it cannot be this arrow. Because that already means flip. What about this? The little right. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, let me see if there's a stack of cards. Okay. Yeah, this will work. This will be fine. I mean, it can be ugly. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I turn my back on the Bills, and anyway, then the game continued, and let me get a question mark, and then I'm good to go. So the game, third quarter ends, fourth quarter, things are looking really bad. The Bills come up a little bit, but then the Ravens also, they're just like hammering. It's Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson just running all over the place, smashing the Bills. That's what it looks like, right? And the Bills, they're not getting anywhere fast. It's just kind of slow. They're making some progress. They are still kind of in it. They're, a field goal here and there, whatever. And then then it's like the last 2 minutes. And then you're starting to see some life, making some little predictions. And another funny thing about being at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we bought dinner, me and Uncle Dwight, and as part of dinner, we got a cookie with ice cream on it. And so, Uncle Dwight is saying, well, sometimes it's okay, you get a little depression ice cream, right? Get a little depression ice cream. And so now we're in the final minutes of the game, and I'm eating the depression ice cream, and then all of a sudden the Bills start coming to life. There's the turnover. There's the miraculous touchdown where there's a tipped ball, and then one of the guys catches it for a touchdown. Not long after that, there's a fumble from Derrick Henry. The Bills come back, make it, get the touchdown. Then, then there is. I like this. I like this idea a lot. The Scry one, essentially. Gonna download that. So, so things are really starting to work. There's lots of tension. The room had, everybody's engaged, and so it all of a sudden it seems like this is gonna become not depression ice cream anymore, but celebration ice cream. And so it was funny that the ice cream was like flip flopping, and it struck me as Schrodinger's ice cream. It had no identity. Like when you it sort of was whatever it needed to be at the moment, right? And so, time is just being whittled down, and, final seconds, and Prater kicks this crazy field goal after a wild, there was like the 2 touchdowns, and then I don't remember the order of some of these things, but there were the 2 touchdowns, so now the Bills are within 2. And then and then the Bills stop the Ravens. They bring the ball they right back up the field, like with just solid, quick plays. Final seconds, Prater kicks the field goal. And they get it. The Bills win by 41-40. It's just like an absolutely insane first game of the season. And, I'm feeling it, having a great time. Like, wow, this was crazy. Like, everybody's celebrating or angry. Like, just emotions are higher than they probably should be in this Buffalo Wild Wings. And then Uncle Dwight looks at me and he's like, well, too bad you missed out on your tots. Because that's what, that's why I picked the Ravens. I picked the Ravens and I messed up. I lost heart. I lost hope. And I failed my Bills, failed my team. And I did not deserve those tots anyway then, in that case. It was just a funny moment to like kind of cut through the celebration and point out that because of my betrayal, I was not deserving of that side from Buffalo Wild Wings. That was hilarious. Anyway, great game. From there, I headed over to, what was the other one I'm gonna replace? Oh, is in here. From there, I headed over to Chris and Gabrielle's place. They live in the so-called big house. Oops, no. The big house in Kailua. So I dropped off Uncle Dwight, drove over, and hung out with Chris and Gabrielle for a while. Had a great time. They ate dinner. We went for a walk. They ate dinner. And then, see, look at that. That looks good, right? So I'll just sit right on there, and whatever round it is, that'll work out. Okay, so I like this. I really, really like this Scry 1 idea from the town hall. So you get to go into the town hall and kind of influence the whatever. Well, it's two things. You get to have some foreknowledge of whatever little challenge is coming up from the mayor. So these mayor's favorite cards they're just little, you meet some condition or requirement and then you get a payout, a benefit. So if you can see it beforehand, you can work toward it. And so that's kind of cool. But you can also decide whether or not you think this is a good fit for your game plan. And if you think it is, cool, leave it on top. If you think it's not, you can just drop it to the bottom of the deck. So you get a little control over what's coming up. So I think that's actually excellent. I'm glad. See, this is another case of Magic influencing modern game design. Scry 1, baby. Scry 1. I think Seth, I think Tim, I think Ben, I think Mark, I think these guys would all be proud of me for making that connection. How's that? So this is a refreshed, a little, yeah, there were a couple details from the last playtest that I thought would be useful to make some adjustments for, or two, I mean. And I think I'm ready to jump into. Oh, well, just this, also, Chris and Gabrielle, we played some Sea Salt and Paper, and the thing is with Gabrielle, she likes games. She enjoys. She gets a little involved, maybe competitive, and maybe isn't super excited when things get, when she starts feeling a little more serious about the game. And I've noticed that. I'm not saying she's absolutely in that category, but I have noticed that there are people who avoid playing games because I this is what I believe about the situation. They avoid playing games because they don't like being caught up as much in the game as they become. It's almost like uncomfortable to see your own fire, you know? It's something like that. Like, oh, I don't like it's like another thing for me is like if this was the case in high school, if I would wrestle just casually wrestle the guys in the dorm, it's a Saturday night and there's a lot of energy and what are we doing? Nobody knows, but at some point a wrestling match might break out. So we're like wrestling in the dorm or something and then somebody gets me in some weird position or something. And there was a time actually when I think it was I was an RA in the dorm, meaning, I had responsibilities of kind of watching, looking after the guys and making sure they were sort of in line and that kind of thing. And I was working in the computer lab at that time. This is a Sunday evening, and we were, some guys had asked if we can study in the computer lab. So I was kicking people out to go back to the dorm, and one guy he didn't really like how I was handling the situation. He kind of stepped up to me, and I didn't really. He's a smaller guy, and and I underestimated his wrestling experience. So he actually like wrestled maybe in middle school or something, or high school before he came to our school. And before I knew it, I was on my back on the computer lab floor, and his chest was on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. And I don't know exactly what he did. He was just pinning me. I don't remember how we got there. I think he just outmaneuvered me. Even though I think he's much smaller. As in, like, I'm 5'8", he's probably 5'4". Short, stocky guy, but I was also stocky and strong at that point. I think we were both in gymnastics, but he got the better of me, and in a second I kind of lost it. I didn't have the strength to get him off. I couldn't breathe. And so I just found out I figured out how to communicate, like, this was over. Like, you need to get off of me. Like, the tone changed real quick from, like, fun and light to, like, I feel, like, in my mind, it might have been, like, I'm going to, like, basically, I'm going to wreck you if whatever. But I had no control. So it was probably more like, I am so uncomfortable. Like, I feel unsafe right now. You need to stop. I wouldn't have been able to use that word at that moment. But my body was, like, I was incapacitated. I was locked down, and I didn't like it. And I lost my head, And so that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to lose control. And I know that happens for people with games. They get too involved. They lose their heads. And so I don't necessarily know that that's like the thing for Gabrielle, but she likes playing, but and like everybody else, she likes understanding what's happening. For a lot of people, it's uncomfortable to learn something new, and it's later on in the evening. So why are we gonna play another game? Sea Salt and Paper was a quick favorite of theirs. So happy to play it. It's a great little game. But then we also had The Gang. The Gang is a really fun cooperative poker style game. And Chris believed that she would like it. And there's also that dynamic of, a couple that kind of reads each other and they say they will or should do or like certain things. And that also creates a little bit of like, well, okay, so you think I'm going to like it. So now I'm less likely to like it, or more, whatever it is. So there's a little bit of that kind of question going on. Like, anyway, so we brought The Gang out, and it was just a really good time. Like everybody started getting it. Gabrielle never really looked at poker hands before, but the game is well made, and they give you a little card that helps you rank. It just clearly shows the hand strengths and stuff like that. So everybody was engaged. We were all making pretty good guesses, and then we fail, and then we say, oh no, now you have to get either the game ends with 3 successes or 3 failures to like um, ascertain the order of strength of our 3 hands. It's just 3 people, so that game is a lot easier with 3. So it's great to like start there. But I just love it when a game works for a little group. It kind of doesn't matter how big it is. If the game works and people are feeling like they're getting it. That's the feeling. And in a new game, I think that's the feeling to hunt for. That's the feeling to try to facilitate in other people. It's all you need, I think. All you need when somebody's learning a game for the first time is to scaffold them to the point that, and this is sooner than later is always better, but scaffolding that helps them achieve that feeling of I'm getting it. You don't need anything else. You don't need anything else. It's just, it's a sense of engagement and aspiration that, like, I think I understand what's going on, or I think I can understand what's going on. And at that point, when you have somebody hooked in like that, that's it. That's all you want. That's all you need. It's probably going to be a generally positive experience at that point. If somebody is not set up to achieve that feeling, maybe they didn't sleep well. Maybe they had a bad day at work. Maybe this game is a little bit outside of their zone of proximal development. Wow, the education courses coming into play here. If the game is a little beyond their abilities and they lose hope, they feel overwhelmed, they mentally give up, if that is the state of things, if that's the situation, they will not have fun. They are likely to bounce off the game. They're likely to bounce off the experience of gaming. If that's their typical experience, right, they give up, they feel lost. It's not going to be good. The thing is, as teachers, as facilitators, we can do better for people, right? We're not trying to manage their feelings, but we're trying to offer an experience which includes the sense of I'm getting it, the sense of I can do this. As a teacher, I think that's on us. Now, if somebody brings the attitude of no matter what, I'm gonna have a nice time, I'm just making decisions, I'm taking turns, it's not a big deal, it's just my first time playing, that person's already locked in. They're already good. They don't need any help. It's the person who comes with the insecurities around feeling lost and out of control. That if they're not making the exact right decisions, then they're gonna feel stupid, or they're gonna be embarrassed. If it's somebody coming with those insecurities, I think it's on us, the teachers, facilitators, and the community at the table to facilitate people out of that mindset. We're capable of it. I don't know that everybody's ready for that, but it's on us. It's on us to encourage people to be capable guides, to break down rules and expectations in the game clearly. Like, that stuff is on us. And we build that ramp, we build the runway for people to feel like they can succeed. And think about, we're just talking about a game at a table, right? But if through gaming we can encourage that shift in mindset, that's life-changing for people. 100%. That's the growth mindset kind of thinking. That's just empowering. It's I don't know, maybe I'm out of adjectives or descriptors here, but it's the path to somebody understanding that they have value, they are able to contribute, that they are, that they're capable people. We can do that at the table. So anyway, I'm at about 45 minutes here. I do want to fit in a quick playtest. I might not get through the whole game because I would like to get this game play tested today, because I'm checking my phone here for available jobs, sub jobs, but nothing's showing up. So I'm thinking it might be another work at home day. I have plenty to do. I could be catching up with my class. I could, my online class. There's a fair amount of work there to be done. So it's not a horrible day to be at home. But if I am home, then I would really like to get this game looked at. It got wrecked. What was it, last Thursday? But I think if I play through and spend a little time on it in the next 35 minutes, I'll be in good shape. So I'm going to just start playing through here as part of setup. I'm going to place one of these. The rolling barrel goes... Okay, this is actually intensely problematic for the game, now that I'm thinking of it. It's not the end of the world. However, what it means is, for a significant, like the sensitive period at the start of the game, where oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So this makes me think I need to add a condition here. So the reason I'm saying that is because the first player has no ability to get this card, whereas the second player, it's automatic, right? They don't have to meet any condition. 3 cubes is a lot. However, a barrel is huge. Early on, a barrel is huge. And so what I mean is, on my first turn as second player, I'm going to take this card because I can afford it because of these 3 cubes that I get automatically. Whereas this player only gets 2 cubes. And then we'll play out the round. I would claim a barrel. I claim a barrel, and then at the end of the round, I get this injection of 14 money for basically just having the advantage of 1 extra cube at the start of the game. The question is there a serious trade-off here? As in, is the first player able to build an engine off of their 2 cubes that would be able to catch up to this 14 money swing? I don't know. I'm not a min-maxer. I don't know. Well, anyway, it's something. It's worth considering. It's worth considering a change here. Now, what would the change be? So let's look at some of the conditions really quick. This is enough to, as you can see, this is enough for me to want to pause the game. Now 4 cubes, nobody can afford that. Actually, nobody can afford that at the very beginning of the game. Okay, what's another condition here? I don't really like this. I don't like this being dependent on, for example, an upgrade. I was thinking, what if you need the staff upgrade, or what if you need the vehicle upgrade first? Actually, wait a minute. This is not bad. Huh. Interesting. So this feels like a little bit of a fork in the road. Because imagine the difference. I don't want to push players toward a specific upgrade. I actually don't like the idea I was just having. Never mind. What could I do? Hmm. So this one points at this situation. This one points at money. This one points at progress in the pyramid of the display in the gift shop. This one costs 10. So it's another condition for having a certain amount. This one, you need more money, but you can spend it right away. The thing is, you need at least 10, and you need to be able to spend 10. Is that interesting? Because you just get it back right away. It's basically this. I actually kind of don't like that these could be earnable by the same person. So I actually don't even really like that this is. I like this that it's making you retain money. You have to hold on to money that you would like to be spending on whatever it is, community projects or on upgrades, right? You'd like to be doing that, but this is having you hang on to money for an extra turn so that you get a big discount from, well, it's just a 2 cube discount from the grant office. But that's potentially 2 turns of going to the Closterby Market or going to Farland Market. So it is a big deal. This one I don't mind because there is a serious cost involved. It's not easy, or it's not necessarily efficient to gather 4 cubes. So the person needs to have 4 cubes in order to pay this off, or to meet the condition. They just need to pay 4 cubes. Where is this one? So in this case, I think this is already a problem. So what's another condition here? It's a turn where the player is going to want to use the 3 cubes they have already anyway. What I was just thinking is, like the meeples maybe are not super important. What if they need to use this at the same time? That doesn't seem, I mean, it's still a benefit to them. They still get, yeah, I don't really like that. Are there any other conditions that make sense? Oh, this is too similar. I was gonna say, what about if they have to get a community project? That's tough because it's not easy to get 2 extra meeples. So that's not that cool. This one covers the grant office. The only other, I mean, a condition is, it could be related to having meeples. But I don't love any I don't love any ideas I'm having right now. Um, hmm. Yeah, I want them to be free to get whatever upgrades they want. Um, there's nothing else out here where you're really building anything. That's why the display one works for this card, but there's nothing else really like that. And it can't really be like have some number of cubes at the grant office. You shouldn't need to incentivize that any more than it already is incentivized. Because what else can you spend? I don't know, weakening your turn by gaining an extra cube next turn might not be that exciting. So what if it's that plus? It's the 3 cubes that's the problem. So I either want to make it kind of impossible to do in the first round. It's so funny that this like pretty much shut me down here. Yeah, I should it be just another money requirement? That feels a little bit sad. What if it just incentivized the barrel? What if it incentivized the barrel upgrade? I mean the vehicle upgrade, the garage upgrade. That kind of makes sense, honestly. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't love it, but I am gonna do it. So let me go grab the truck. Yeah, I want to be on record here and saying I don't love this idea. But it's an idea. Let's get rid of that background for sure. Love that. As long as you have the vehicle, you can deliver this barrel. Hmm. Oh, maybe just call it extra barrel. Nothing special there. Ah, that also means if you don't, shoot. If you, no, this needs to be gone early, honestly. I think, okay, I'm not going to do this. Instead, what I am going to do is have starting money. The thing is, though, I think I think the first player's hand is forced. Yeah, I do not like this at all. Rolling barrel, big question mark. I don't like it. Maybe it shouldn't be in the game. Well, this playtest didn't get very far. Let me go again without this one in the deck right now. That's crazy. Yeah, I just don't have a great solution for that. So this is going to cover up this spot. Okay, not bad. So what if I just go for it? What if I... So as first player, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start working on Flapjack Feast right away. Oh, sorry. So these come over here. All of this stuff advances at the start of your turn. And then you decide how much money you want to spend. I think first player is just going to go like, ooh. Yeah. But they want to get this done. Oh, okay. So we'll just do this for both of them. Let's say this one spends the extra. Oh, you know what? No, what if they spend the meeple? I haven't done that. I don't think I did that at all last game. So they spend a meeple to fill this other cube spot right here. Okay. Actually, I'll be right back. Still checking the Smart Find Express. That's how I get sub jobs. Still nothing. Okay, so this guy spends the meeple here. There it is. There's a smart time. What is it called? Smart Find Express. I'm gonna answer it. I might have a job today. What? I declined it? I didn't mean to do that. Do I want to drive into Pearl City? I haven't been to Pearl City in so long. I think I'm gonna wait. Pearl City. I think I'm okay. Okay, so we're set up for the first turn. And now now he's gonna go here. Player one, fill these two spots, gain 4 money. So at 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now one away from an upgrade already. That seems pretty cool, and making progress toward the Flapjack Feast card. So that was just the one. Yeah. What if they go here? No, I think here's fine. They take first player? No, not yet. Go here, discard 1 to the grant office, and then gain 3 money. So it's 6. Okay. Now we reset. Go again. So these guys come back. Okay, first player still. This stuff shifts over. This guy has a full card. And then yeah, I don't think he wants to add any cubes. But actually, wait a minute. Actually, I think he does want an extra cube here because next turn he's going to go for it. Wait, no, he cannot. Because he wants to fill this spot. He's going for it. And he just needs 1 more to do it. And then, actually, he'll have the money for an upgrade right away. So that's actually great. Anyway, I think we're ready. So 1, 2 over here. So filling this up. Bam, for 2 money. Right. And then now it's this player's turn. This player also can just get enough money for an upgrade. Question is, what about taking first player now? Because this one's going to be gone. He knows, or let's say she knows that. Okay, Farland Fuel. Interesting. Definitely leaving that on top. Because this player already has the cubes they need. So he's now, so the other guy's out of cubes. This guy's definitely just going to go and get 3 money. Discard 1 cube. That's going to be nuts, right? So now, wait. So this guy just, they both take 1 cube each. First player comes over here. Bring guys back. Flapjack Feast is not a great one at the start of the game because, well, I don't know. You can get money instead of making progress on the grant, which is cool, but anyway, I'm really liking some of the beginning tension here. I think this is actually developing really nicely. Okay, so now first player. So now we move the stuff into, oh no. This guy wants to pay 1, 2, 3 for an extra. Don't want to forget that, because now that was from last round. Because now he wants the two cards, the 2 cubes to be able to get the Flapjack Feast. So that was important. This guy is not even close to qualifying. But because he knows that something's coming, so now, anyway, now they both take their single cubes. Like, watch, this is going to be nuts. Like, I wonder if this is the sort of swing, this is the kind of situation where there's no coming back. I don't have time to figure this out, but this is a cool board state. Because what's going to happen now? What does this guy do, actually? I think... What does he do here? Just gain money? You know what he does? This is nuts. So he's going to go here. Take an upgrade. What's the upgrade? Probably here. Just because Meeple sounds good. Now this guy is going to spend the 2. There's no rush here, though. There's no rush, except the order doesn't matter since this guy's out of Meeples anyway. Spends the 2, right? Spends the 2, they go back to the supply. Oops. Now this is nuts, because I do think the way I want to handle this is that, what's he going to do with... We can convert and get some more meeples next time. Or take first player back. Because now this is going to come out right away. And it's going to drop on Farland Market. That guy had no idea that this guy's ready for it, right? So these go back to the supply. And bam! He gets his second upgrade right away. And I think he's just going to go production. And I don't... There's no way. There's no way... Oh, actually, no. He's going to get this. He still needs to activate the upgrade. Okay. Now what does this guy do? I think he gets an extra meeple for 3. Okay. And probably just loses this guy. Okay, so now that's the end. This is cool. I like how this started, but I'm afraid that there's literally no coming back for this guy. Because now this guy has 2 upgrades already. He's close to being able... This guy's close to being able to afford, but this guy's still first player. So what he's going to do, obviously, like this comes in. This comes in. Oh, he spent for a 3rd worker, so this is in. I think still just 1 cube, probably. So now this guy is going to go... What does he need to rush the... I don't think he needs to rush the upgrade. What could he do instead? Doesn't want to spend money, but I think it's fine just to block this right now, spend a cube. Look at how close this one is to a grant as well. So that's a big deal. Anyway, you can see the momentum here this player has. I really wonder if this guy has a chance. I feel like probably not, right? So... Oh wait, this is the old... Oh! Okay, I need to do a couple things here. Actually, wait. So that's the old version. I'm glad I looked at this saved version. What was that? That's the gift shop. That was the old gift shop. Okay, I think that's it for me. I'm gonna rush away to do some final touches on this iteration, because then I'm going to sign up to do a playtest here in a couple minutes. Anyway, thanks for joining today. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you soon.